Being yourself is like walking outside naked. That's what it's like. My sister, she was traumatized. Well, not traumatized, but well, I guess she was. Um, she went through a lot of different episodes as I had when I gave birth to my son and my daughter. More so, my daughter. I feel like my episodes was under control when I had my son. But my sister, she went through some type of psychotic break, and she was walking outside. They said she walked outside naked, and I feel like that's just it's kind of like a spiritual awakening per se. So she was coming to terms to who she really was, and she went about the situation maybe normal. In today's day and age, you wouldn't say that's normal. You would say that's insane, and anything that people don't understand, they go ahead and try to fix you or critique you. So that's what she and my family said. I wasn't around when it happened, but she went outside and she went outside naked, and she was just discovering her spiritual self. So that's probably how she felt inside. But when you reach a spiritual awakening, it's like the inside of you comes out. You become exposed. And the fact that she walked out naked is like she was basically like a baby in a womb of spirituality. She walked outside and she didn't understand, she didn't know. It's like I said, it's like a baby in a womb. She walked outside, she didn't understand, she didn't know, and everything that she had learned was slowly fading away as she was basically building her new skin. Um, when I went through my spiritual break, or my psychotic break, as they would say, but my spiritual awakening, I walked outside barefooted. So maybe these are some type of it was some type of symbolization that basically represented who we were spiritually. Maybe mine had something to do with my feet. Um, Maybe I've been so bound and I never really had the courage to take that leap. And that's why I walked outside barefooted when I became spiritually awakened. I walked down different streets and I was just walking outside. And it was freezing cold in the middle. I think it was like the middle of winter, fall going into winter. It wasn't winter yet. The snow wasn't on the ground yet. But it was fall time and I was walking down the streets and I was just observing the earth, observing the world, looking for something that I didn't know I was looking for, but I did discover a lot of things. Um, I've seen a lot of things, but like I said, mine's was my feet, hers was her body. She has some type of insecurity about her body, and now spiritually she was becoming exposed to really stepping into her body. She didn't she wasn't tapped into herself to where she was like basically coming out of her shell. My feet, like I said, I've been bound. I always felt bound. I always like basically gravitating. Maybe that's a representation. Maybe it was more so of gravitation because I never actually felt grounded. I never been grounded before. Ever since I was younger, I was always wondrous. I always was intrigued, by nature, and I was just in awe about everything. I had this mind that just, everything was a journey for me. Everything was, you know, it was just something magical for me. And maybe that's why when I reached my spiritual awakening, I walked outside barefooted because that was a time where I actually had to feel the ground in order for me to be grounded for once. It's like my spiritual awakening was more of my feet. It was more about my feet. It was more about being grounded, feeling my feet. My feet had to touch the cement ground so that my the vibration, the earth, I can be in tune and alignment with the earth. And that's why I stepped out. and my feet was more so naked. Um, so yeah, like I said, I feel like walking outside, um, and just being who you are, discovering who you are, and your journey of self discovery is like walking outside naked. You know, you don't know what you're gonna get. People will look at you like, kind of just like, trying to figure out. They can't figure you out, and you get all these labels, you get all these names. It's like, being in school all over again. When you're in school, you go to school and you're always hiding yourself. You're hiding yourself under layers because you're afraid of coming out to everybody. It's so many people, and you just don't want to expose yourself because you know you're going to get talked about. Well, being yourself is like that. So that's kind of what I had on my mind. That's how I feel. It takes a lot of courage to be you. It takes a lot of courage to discover you, and it takes a lot of courage to step out and turn the other cheek to everyone else who just doesn't understand or doesn't know what you're going through. It's really hard to be yourself in a world that, it seemed like it would be easy because it's like a lot of people is out here doing what they want to do. If gay people could come out here and do whatever they want to do and feel free to just be who they selves, no matter how silly it may seem, and they can just be them. I look at that all the time. Gay people is always out here dressing silly, dressing like girls and this and that and the third. Why not? Why can't we do that? Straight people or people that's not gay. Why do we feel like we have to be we have to fit into a certain standard? We have to fit into the box. We have to sit in this category. I mean, we have to be categorized. We have to just feel as though we can't step out of line, but everybody else can do it. Why can't we? And that's a real question. It's like everybody is trying to feel like everybody is trying to belong, and those who honestly don't belong are more accepted. You know, that's the best way I could put it. I mean, I'm not trying to say don't belong, more so of those who accept themselves are more accepted. Those who are don't care, you know, about what anyone think of them is accepted. Those who do care what they think about, honestly, is hard to accept because if you can't accept yourself, then how can anyone accept you? But we spend a lot of time just figuring out who we really are. That later down the line, we find that we are alone because we never actually knew how to accept who we are. We didn't know who we were. So we've been, you know, it's like you got to send out that right vibration. As soon as you figure out who you are, your life will start to align. You will start to connect or attract those people or that energy that you are that just connects with you. You will start to see, your life unfold for the better of you, in your favor, to your favor. Because if you don't know who you are, then it's kind of hard for the universe to work for you. But just as God knows, the universe knows. But you have to know as well. It's all like it all has to fall into place. If you're over here and then the universe, God, universe is, you know, trying to meet you halfway, how can your higher power meets you halfway, or the universe sends you those vibrations or those connections that you really that you are destined for. If you are out of alignment with yourself and you don't know who you are, you don't know, because the universe can work to your favor and send you, your what's meant for you, but you can resist because you don't know what's meant for you because you don't know who you are. And in the midst of that, like I said, it's hard to be who you are, or be even walk on your journey of self-discovery, because the world doesn't isn't accepting. And it's hard for us to accept ourselves when we depend on the world to accept us first.
I never thought that you would be the one to hold my heart, but you came around, then you knocked me off the ground from the start.
Do you believe that we are vibrational beings? We are vibrational beings. Um, we vibrate. Our vibration is a frequency that reaches our connections. Who are we divinely connected with? And I feel like a lot of the world we live in today kind of limits that connection. It limits that connection because we are meant to feel. But the fact that we are knowledgeable and we know words and we know the meaning, we basically put a meaning to these words to define everything, define our very being, define the emotions that we are supposed to feel. Um, our mind, the fact that we filled our mind with this, I would say, nonsense. We filled our mind with this nonsense. And now it limits us from feeling the emotion we are supposed to feel. Just think, if we didn't know the meaning of the emotions, our connection would be very strong. It would be at a high vibration. A very high vibration. We would walk in this emotion. We will walk with this feeling, and we will meet our divine partners, those who we are meant to be with, our destined lifestyle we are meant to connect with. We are spiritual beings vibrating at a low and high frequency. So yeah, I just wanted to speak a little bit on that. That's a little bit of what I believe in spiritually. Like I said, they make us limited. They give us limited access to our true destined purpose. Um, so yeah, with that being said, that's just food for thought. Just something to think about as you go on in the world and you're trying to figure out who you are spiritually. and what resonates with you in the life we live in today. Like our body has a mind of its own, but how can we listen to what our body is trying to say when our mind is talking as well? We gave our mind a mind. We structured our mind just like pottery and clay. We created we planted seeds into our mind, and now our mind has a mind of its own. And it's kind of hard to listen to either or because one is given directions and the other is given directions, and now it's causing this friction. Just like this, I was having a conversation and this person was speaking on how they um, it's kind of like their mind is telling them something else. They want to go this way. They want to go this direction. They want to, you know, they want to follow through with their purpose, but their mind is kind of telling them otherwise. It's because our mind is more so of the world. Our body is of the world as well, but our mind has been touched on. Our mind has been taught so much beliefs. Our mind has been pulled into the systematic world we live in to where now our body is out of tune. Just like you tune up a guitar and the strings, you have to, and when you play this guitar, the guitar, there is no words, but there's more so of it's just sound. You're strumming along to the sound. Um, so it's guitar. So this is us. This is who we are. We are the instrument. And our body is meant to go along to the sound, to hear the vibration, to go with the, to follow along, and eventually you'll create that song. You'll create that tune. You have to be in tune with your body. This is meant to be our body, and this is meant to be our mind. Our mind is the song. Our body is the instrument. But we have created this illusion of all of these all of these words and all of this historical teachings that has clouded our judgment of the lesson we are meant to be learned in the life we live in. The sound is meant to be our mind. This is our mind. This is our mind. This is our body. But the words and all that we have consumed, all that we have taken in, such as, kids going to school and whatnot. We learn all of these things that weren't meant to be learned. So therefore we have to unlearn so that we can listen to our sound. So yeah, that's kind of what I was telling this guy. I was kind of confused about what his mind and his body was trying to say to him. Sometimes we just have to unlearn and learn again, and all we have is time, so there's really no dead end. There's really no time to stop everything unless, of course, um, you come face to face with the end of your life, death. If you're not dead, you're still alive and you have time to figure out your sound. We have to step away from the illusion. We have to step away from everything that has been taught to us. We have to step away from the system and just listen to the sound and take away from the words. And you'll never know what you create. It's a lot of people that I see, they be making, they talk and it's like a lot of stuff is not of academic. It's not academic. Their speech is not academically, fluent, but they have their own fluency. We can create our own sound. We just have to listen and we have to take away the words and just listen to the instrumentals. Sometimes you have to do things on purpose to find the results you are looking for. You have been searching for all of your life. It's within you. You just have to believe in yourself and know that you are strong enough to know that you are all you are looking for.